Hi everyone, welcome back to my mind. It's Danielle. I'm going to try to record a video every day or every other day or max every 2 days. I started this YouTube channel right now because there is extra free time and due to the coronavirus, and I've been wanting to share my story for so long, and it's taken me so long to figure out a way to do that. So I'm going to try to hold myself accountable, and I hope you guys can help me do that. I want to share my story first, and then I want to open the floor to interviews and the different types of OCD and topics, and there's just an abundance of things to be talked about. So I want to make sure that I stay focused and really take the time to share and be accountable for you guys. And with that being said, I want to I think I left off with my 6th grade year. So my story that year, like I told you guys, was it was rough. It was shaky. I didn't know what was happening. I just know I had that fear and that thought of my mom not being with me. And so it transitioned into 7th grade as well. Those 2 years, I think I'm going to touch on a kind of sensitive subject because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and my family is my biggest support system now with everything. But I will say that back when I was going through this, my dad and my brother didn't quite understand it. My mom, I know, was hurting a lot and doing her best to take me to that therapist. But I know that my dad and brother I don't know if it was the age of my brother, he's 2 years older than me, just not understanding what OCD is, but they made me feel, I guess, sometimes worse about it. And I don't want to make them feel badly if they're watching this, because I love them more than you'll ever know. But it was hard because they used to kind of put me in a category as she has a disease, there's something wrong with her, type of thing. They loved me, but it wasn't that shared feeling of understanding, I guess is the word. And it's not like they didn't show love for me. It's not like my dad didn't show love for me. It's not like he hurt me or anything like that. It was just, I just remember feeling so different from them. And it's hard to explain because I know I felt hurt back then, and it made me want to kind of hide it more, but it's not anything they did wrong or my mom did wrong or I did wrong. It's just sheer knowledge, and that's so important to know that people that have OCD are so sensitive about it because it's so weird in your head. It's so different. Some of the thoughts and obsessions are really bizarre. They get weirder in your head, and then you think you're okay to share it, and then it's holy shit, what is wrong with that person? I mean, it's just hard. So I remember that feeling of kind of shame almost, and it's not they gave it to me on purpose. It's just I was the little sister, the daughter with issues, and I know that it kind of faded out and I forgot about it, that feeling. But I do only want to bring that up on this podcast, on this video today, just as a reminder that whatever age you're going through your OCD, it's just important to remember to share it with people who you feel are capable of asking the right questions, who are capable of understanding, who are capable of showing the love you need, who are going to make you better, meaning not giving into your OCD when you require them to do something so you feel better anxiety-wise. Over the years, I have opened up more to my dad about it, and he doesn't necessarily understand the moving pieces, but his love and compassion and sympathy and empathy, I guess it'd be more sympathy, have grown immensely. And same with my brother. And that to me is so important for my family. I don't think anybody knows like the true details, and I keep a lot of like what my fears and things I obsessed over in my head, because they are a little different. But as far as like understanding and caring and learning, my dad and my brother have done so well, and I think that was just needed. The time was needed. So I just want to make that known, that when I was first going through this as a kid, I felt super uncomfortable around them about it. Now it's grown into where I can talk about it, I can tell them things, I can let them know certain things I'm going through without feeling shame and uncomfort. So I give them a huge kudos for learning and growing, and I think that takes time. It does. But at the beginning, if you're worried about opening up to someone, I just recommend making sure you're really comfortable with that person. And it's not that I really wasn't comfortable with my dad and my brother. It's just my age didn't really allow that comfort to be there. And I think that the age is a huge thing. As an adult now, I've educated myself. So with all that being said, that was the one thing I wanted to mention about my 6th grade year. All is well, no hard feelings or anything. So going into my 7th and 8th grade year, I remember the feeling of obsessing over my mother and her whereabouts decreasing. And I think it was because I was starting to feel comfortable at my school. I started playing competitive volleyball in between like 6th and 8th grade. I started playing in 5th grade, but I got more and more into it. So becoming an athlete, I had other places to direct my energy towards, and I started really becoming passionate about volleyball, and I had a team to worry about. So those are kind of distractions, I guess, from your OCD. And it's not like we always want to find distractions, but we do want to do things so we don't have like constant anxiety. So I started having more friends at school, and I remember by the end of 8th grade, I remembered only doing certain compulsions in the evenings. And don't get me wrong, it would plague me for hours. I remember I had this daybed, and I would jump over, like, if you know what I'm talking about, like a daybed has like a little railing. I remember I had to like jump over it a certain amount of times before I slept, and then turn the light on or off. This is like a very specific compulsion, because if I didn't do that, the last picture I saw like in my room or something, like that person was gonna die. So those kind of things still happened, but they were less than they were when I first started having symptoms. So I remember like my bedtime routine took so long because of this, and I know I eventually fell asleep, but I just remember that being like 7th, 8th, it could have been in the beginning of 9th grade. But as I got more social, and as I got into sports, I really started to thrive, and like my energy and my personality and my bubbly self came out. So that was one of the transitions that was really important to me. I'm gonna make today's video actually kind of short, just ending it here with understanding the transitions and the comfort level, what I talked about. But once I get back at it tomorrow, we're gonna start talking about my transition into high school, because my high school years were so opposite of my college years, and I just had so many different experiences, and my OCD was so small during the 4 years of high school, which I remember the most about life, I guess, that I, as now I'm 30, so all through my 20s, I always compared everything to like what was going on in high school. So I'm going to really dive into that, but I definitely think it deserves its own video. So I'm going to talk about that next time, and I look forward to you all joining, and I really appreciate you giving me the platform to open up to my sensitivities, to things that might have hurt me, have hurt others in the past. To me, this is all a learning experience. So even for people who are going through the same thing, who have gone through the same thing with loved ones, who feel guilty about like saying what actually happened, it's a learning experience, and I wouldn't want it any other way now, because now I can only better myself, I can only help others, and that's what this is all about. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a great day. Stay healthy, and we'll talk soon. Bye.